Welcome to season 4 of the 15-ish minute coffee chat, a conversation every business owner needs to hear.
That's right. In fact, this week we're discussing hustle, doing what you love and loving what you do with Jason Day of Day Violins. But before we introduce our guests, we want you to all to join us today thinking about, are you doing what you love to do? All right. So welcome to our show, everyone. Yay!
Yes. Okay. It's going to be part 2 of trying to keep our show at 30 minutes. That's our goal, guys. So
we failed miserably last week with guest Amber Schwinn, the other side of laughter. But I mean, really, when you have an impersonator on and she's funny, sometimes it's just going to roll over time. I don't know.
It is. I mean, yeah, I can see our husband's like, yeah, okay, whatever. It's not, right. It's not who just your guess is. It's you two. You can't like keep your mouths quiet.
That is so very
okay, real fast. I said that I would bring up one thing, Anna and I agreed about this, is you may have noticed, if you actually noticed, that our backgrounds are a little different. So this week we were inspired by a friend of ours, Gam. She is an organizer goddess. I don't even know if I'm allowed to call that. Anyway, I had to wait for a couple months because there's so much going on last year for her to be able to come in and do her magic. And we have emptied out my office and redid it to where it doesn't look how I thought it would, because she just was like, just try it. But outside those doors is my office because we're in phase 1. So then I was all about it with Anna, and Anna and I had a session.
Yes, it was ridiculous. I went from like my office. I mean, my office needed to be cleaned. You know, last week was like National Clean Your Desk Off Day and National Clean Your Office Week, I think is what it was, whatever it was, but just lit a fire under us. And now literally my entire office is sitting outside my office doors. And we're even repainting a piece of furniture before it comes back in. Yeah. I mean, there's so my very blank background, which is very inspiring, gives me a blank canvas to work with and recreate something beautiful. So anyway,
okay, let's do it. We're going to talk about our guest today, Jason, who I am obsessed. We love chatting with him backstage. Yeah. It's me. I read the bit. I'm like, go ahead, Anna.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, it's me.
If you would like me to.
Go ahead. You do it. You go.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit. I've known Jason for a really long time. I should just go ahead and disclose this from the beginning. He is my brother-in-law. He is married to my sister. So Jason and I have a long, rich history as in-laws. Yeah. I love the guy. Okay, so he's also a lifelong musician and teacher. He comes from a very musical family. He's a native of the Washington, D.C. area. Jason began playing the violin at age 4, and it was love at first sound for him. He has made the violin his lifelong pursuit, still plays regularly. Now, during his time as a teacher, Jason and his wife, Jenna, that would be my sister, Jason and his wife, Jenna, started a music store called Day Violins. That was in 2007, and it happened, they grew it out of their home, basically, out of their basement. It grew rapidly, and now, since 2007, they have a storefront, and they've had one for the last 7 years, and they have 14 full-time employees. Thus our show, Hustle, doing what you love and loving what you do. This is like the epitome of turning your side hustle into a full-time profitable business. So we are super excited to have Jason on today. Let's bring him on. Hi, Jason.
Hello.
Hey, bro. What's up? Just kidding.
No, it's all good. How's everybody doing today?
We're good. We're fantastic because you're here. And I want to say this real fast. Jason was like, he is very humble, and he does not give himself as much accolades as he deserves. And he made some jokes with us like, I know it's like, you didn't have to have me on, but I'm like, no, we were like, regardless of Jenna or not, you are an amazing being that needs to share some knowledge with other business owners.
I don't take myself too seriously, so that's the important thing.
But I do want to say, though, really, like you did what so many of us entrepreneurs are trying to do, which is start something on the side, a small business on the side, and turn it into your full-time gig. I mean, like we said, storefront for 7 years with 14 employees. I mean, that's huge growth. And that's something that I think a lot of entrepreneurs are shooting for. So we're excited to have you on today. I think you've got that real life, real time experience of growing an entrepreneurial business, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. But there's also growing pains associated with it too. So
we're going to talk about some of those today.
Yeah. So okay, before we get started, right, Anna? What is the thing we love to do?
We got to take a coffee cup selfie.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I have to show you my Christmas present. This is my Stanley. Let's see if I can turn it around.
Oh, I love it! Yay! Okay. Well, you guys are going to Canada today.
I'm going to Canada? Oh,
yeah,
you're going
with my
to Canada.
mom.
Oh.
But yeah. Okay. On three, guys. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay. There we go.
You know what's funny is we're never actually taking a picture. We're just pausing and holding so that we can go back and screenshot that point right there.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
It feels great like we're taking a picture, right? But we're not.
Yeah, we do a pause now because the very first one, Anna's like, really, Selena? And I was like, I think we have to be like together so that I can grab that screenshot. That's a mutually,
Yes.
So, okay, first thing that we like to talk about is our 15-ish minute coffee chat. Always starts with a great question from our mental health barista, Lauren Bruhn. We love her insight, and it allows us to kind of get more insight from our guests. So, Jason, are you ready for today's mental health barista question?
Absolutely.
Okay, ready? Boom. Go ahead, Anna.
Okay, so Jason, in what ways have you grown or changed as a result of your work?
The one thing that I would say with running this business and doing all the work that I'm doing now is that you have to accept the fact that you're not good at everything. And then you have to be able to be humble enough to realize that if you're not good at everything, you need to bring people in that are. And so that's what I've, in the beginning, it was Jenna and I and also your dad, Anna, that came and helped us. And then all of a sudden, as things grew, there was just, we started doing lessons here. We started doing all kinds of different, doing repairs. And so there was a moment where when I was still teaching at my private school that I was getting up and repairing instruments in the morning and then going to school and teaching till 4 o'clock and then coming home and teaching my violin students that I was still teaching and then doing repairs until midnight, every night. And then when we got into the store, I quickly realized that there need to be more people brought in that knows what they're doing in these different areas, finances and, lessons and things. And that made a huge difference for me because you have to accept the fact that you're not going to be good at everything. And it really helps you to acknowledge that, and it also helps you to realize that when you bring people in to help you, it helps the overall picture of the business.
That's awesome.
Can I just I want to tie this to the mental health aspect. When you allowed yourself to outsource, what did it do just for your being? As a person, that allowed you to grow into the businessman that you are?
It's kind of like a soda that you've shaken up and you're going to try to open it and what's going to happen. If you open up the soda, it's going to spray all over you and it's going to cause a huge mess. And so what it did is, is that instead of shaking the soda up with so much stuff to do, it makes things more calm. It made me more calm and to be able to get up in the morning and not be completely stressed out, with all the stuff that needs to be done.
Well, okay. So we had a comment come in. So we're going to do a quick correction. Oh, wow. Jason, 22 employees on your payroll, not 14, like it says in your bio you sent us. So thank you, Anne.
Well, why do you think I have Anne? She runs my fantasy. She knows everything.
Exactly. So this is what I'm saying. So Anne came in with the correct information. And what I'm hearing you say is that you learned to trust other people to help you grow your business. Mm-hmm. If you hadn't done that, you you would not be where you are. Like if you hadn't just said, I need to hand this off and trust that they're going to do this and they're going to do it well. And that's hard, I think, for people who have, it's their baby, it's their business, you know?
Yeah, it gets to be a really personal thing. And, I mean, and obviously, there's growth involved in that and being able to let go. It's sometimes really hard for me to let go. But doing that, and I just love that Ann said that, because that's just, that's why she's in charge of that and I'm not.
Yeah. Yeah. So we should say, like, the takeaway from this might be like, don't allow yourself to become the soda about to explode.
Well, it's a really bad picture, but it's just what came to my mind is that, you just have to, the mental health aspect of running a business is that it's hard. Yeah. And then having more people, to help you run the business can help you to not feel so overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Jason, that's going to be my favorite quote, like, for this year, is don't become a, like, shaken up soda can, because I think we can all relate to that.
I mean, it's, you just don't want to do that to yourself, because if you do that too much, then you can actually cause yourself health problems, with all the stress that you put yourself under.
Yeah, definitely physical, mental. And then honestly, it's going to hurt your business, right? Because you literally cannot do everything. So I love I love the mental imagery you provided us with that soda can. Like, I'm going to use that in my social media this week. I'll tag you on it.
Oh, okay.
But that pressure building up, because I've been there. I felt that. I know what that's like. So that's awesome.
Yeah. No. Oh my gosh. Fantastic.
Right?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, what's next? What's next on our agenda?
Well, so we're kind of excited about our toolkit today, because Jason picked something that's like a little bit different and it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I love it. Wait, let me get it ready. Hold on here. I was excited about the soda can. I forgot to prep. Okay, there we go. All right.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so something new that, again, Anna has not been able to look at this. If there are spelling errors, that is on Selena. Okay, guys? So, we started to do something new, and we asked our guests for this season to kind of share a toolkit that they love that works for them.
Yeah.
And Jason talked about his whiteboard. And we were like, yeah, that totally is a toolkit, because sometimes people don't know. And the one thing he wrote in there that I loved, which is what I bolded here, is that he has learned from sad experience that if he doesn't organize himself, the business runs you. Again, another quote, right? So the whiteboard, if everybody has one, you can do physical or you can do digital. These are the three things that he likes to categorize on his whiteboard, which is what he needs to do today, what he needs to do for the week, and what he needs to do for the month. And that's how he divides it. We're going to ask him here a question in just a minute. I'm also going to just mention that I love vision boards, but I go digital because I just, that's me. But I use Mural, and I force it upon anybody in my circle to utilize that. So that is my whiteboard, and it was recommended actually from a previous guest that we had on the show, Lisa Miller. So, Jason, talk to us about how this toolkit just kind of like does it for you. Like, this is your reason for it all.
Well, the background on that is that, I've been doing this my whole life. I used to have a Franklin planner, and I did this in college, and I'd get one of my music theory classes when I was a music major. I would get there like 20 minutes early, and I would sit there and start writing out all the things that I needed to do that particular week, and I would start checking them off. And so there's always been a variation of that in my life, just because I have struggled with organization mightily throughout my life. And so what I decided to do, and I was feeling a little sorry for myself one day, probably about a year ago, and I was just like, I was feeling overwhelmed. And so I decided that I was going to listen to this podcast. And so I can't remember who did it. I wish I could give them the credit, but I heard them say this, and it just absolutely resonated with me. What I need to do today, what I need to do this week, and then, what I need to do this month. It's short term, semi-short term, and then long term things that you need to do. And I added a personal category of of things that I needed to do personally, so I could be reminded if there's something I need to do on the way home, to pick something up, or if there's something that I need to do in the house. For me, it was a way of organizing myself because you can look at your computer, you can start checking your emails, you can go on social media, you can do all these kind of things, and then all of a sudden 3 hours has gone by, and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't done anything.
Yes.
And so for me, it's a tool that I use in my life that kind of says, and it helps me to stay organized, and it helps me to pinpoint what I need to do. And every time I turn around and I look at it, because in my office, I'm like, oh yeah. And then so when I walk out of the office, I have a purpose. I'm not wandering. And so, but it's really kind of it's really changed how I've dealt with the business because it helps me to understand there are some things that I need to do every day. And if I don't, and there's some things I need to accomplish during the week. And then there's long-term things that are going to happen during that month that I need to prepare for. And it's really been helpful.
I love the visual aspect of it too. So I'm a visual person when it comes to like organizing myself. I do use a couple of online. I am not as dedicated to mural as Selena is. I do use it, of course, because she insists on it. No, I'm just kidding. But I keep a Trello board, which is my organization tool that's digital, but also I'm a paper and pen girl. I've got one with me constantly. And if I'm writing to-do lists and making notes because I need to have that visual point of being able to just cross out, I've accomplished this now. I can take it off my list, So yeah, I love that digital whiteboard or the visual of a whiteboard.
From a mental standpoint, it really helps you to know that you've checked things off, because then you're going to be more likely to take on harder things or to take on other things because, it's just so kind of funny now because like during the Christmas vacation, I was going through whiteboard withdrawal because I wasn't at the office checking things off. And so it's hard, but at the same time, it can really help you mentally to realize that you are moving forward, because in business, when you're running your own business and doing things, sometimes you feel like you're a little stuck, and and keeping yourself organized, and checking things off, even if it's a small thing like calling a customer or paying a bill or doing something, it can help you in the long run.
Yeah, that sense of accomplishment is there when you can visually see that you've done it, right? And because like you said, nobody else is going to say, good job, Jason, you accomplished this. Like it's you. The visual whiteboard is your like, hey, good job. Like you did it,
But it can also be the reminder of that maybe you spend a little bit too much time on your computer and you need to turn around and figure out what to do.
You know what it also does though? When you list those things, you can kind of say, all right, I've got 45 minutes till XYZ has to happen. What on my board can I accomplish in that amount of time? Because that doing this project's going to take up about an hour versus this one that's only 15 minutes. So you can knock it out when you have those 15 minutes and cross it off your list. So so whiteboard, is it old school or an enduring collaboration tool? We want to know. So if you're watching right now, pop it in the comments. Do you think whiteboards are old school or are they an enduring collaboration tool? Jason, you might be old school. I don't know. I know I am.
No, I'm very old school in a lot of ways.
Right.
I'm visualizing like I should send a smaller whiteboard for Jenna to pack for vacations, like so that you can just prop it up on your guys' like hotel desk, so that
you can put on it.
Yeah. And, Jenna will be all over it. I know she will. So.
Well, the one thing I love about Jenna is that she, with her way that she organizes herself, is that she has notebooks and she dresses them up and she makes them pretty and puts designs all over them and then she probably I'm sure she probably has like 50 or 60 notebooks that she's written in over the last couple of years, because that's how she organizes herself. Everybody does things differently, but you have to find out what works.
Yeah.
So look, we've got it. I want to show you some of these comments. These are great. So we've got one that says enduring collaboration tool. We've got Michael from Tiki's saying whiteboards still work. And then you got Jenna, I'm all over it. And then in comes Ray, old school.
Old school. Yeah, I know. You know that you had to come in and say something.
You Johnson siblings, you. I love it. Yeah, I love it. Seriously. You know what? I don't know what it is. I will be honest. I'm always like, ooh, I want to try this. Ooh, I want to try that. I want to try that. Okay. All right. Let's move along. So our next segment is Espresso question. Anna has one for you. It's the one question that we have allowed ourselves to streamline ourselves, not you guys, us.
Right. I always get nervous when Anna asks me questions.
Oh, do you want me to do it? Because I will. Because you know what I mean?
I'm used to it by now.
Right.
So I will say, Jason's been my brother-in-law for what, 20 years now, I guess.
Oh, come on. He was, what, 25 years? You need to
25 do the math. Years. For 25 years now. So I remember the beginning, right? I remember the beginning of you starting your business out of your house. I remember you guys talking about it. I remember you starting it. I remember you starting to invest in violins. I remember Dad building you those shelves down in your basement of your house. And, so you had a place to put stock. I remember strangers showing up at your house in the night, like to come and rent something. I remember watching you spend hours with these people sizing the right violin for their child, and ultimately, then having them sign a contract at your kitchen table before ushering them out the door with their instrument. So I remember the very beginning of your roots of where Day Violins started. And I just, just kind of going through that process, like really how amazing it is for where you are now, because now I've been in your shop and you have an entire warehouse of instruments, and you are supporting 3 major school districts in Virginia and countless private rentals and private lessons. And I mean, the growth is just exponential, right? Like it's that huge.
I feel like I need to be throwing confetti when you do that. Like, like that's a great, everybody says celebrate the wins. And I think that's Anna saying you need celebrating along with you. Okay, I just wanted to, say that.
That's really important. I know that Anna's getting to the question, so I can't wait. But that's really important. You have to celebrate the things that you do well, because in business, what's thrown in your face 24/7 is all the things that you don't do well. And so you need to celebrate the fact that you do things well, and there are some successes. So
yes, exactly. So so now I'm actually getting to the question part. I do want to say that your wife did remind me right now that you did all of that with 4 small children and a family that you also had to take care of, right? So there was a lot of stuff going on.
Oh yeah, but ask the question. Then
so here's my question. From the start, don't answer yes or no on this one, but give us a longer answer. But from the start, was your intention to grow Day Violins into what you've made it today? When you started at the very beginning, what was your intention?
No, it was not. My intention was that, at the time I was teaching orchestra at a private school. I'd been there for many years and I loved it. And I was also teaching. I had 45 violin students that I taught after school. And so I was, and then on top of that, we were just like, we wanted to be able to earn a little extra money so that we could take the family on vacation or do something nice once in a while. And so that was kind of the intent, is that it was just going to be like something that could help us to earn a little extra income, with family. Because being a school teacher and being a violin teacher, it was a simple life. And so, but no, absolutely not. I never even thought for a million years that it would do what it's doing now. Is that I just want, it was going to be something very, very simple, and it was supposed to just help us to save a little money for retirement, or do this or do that, and it just kind of exploded because I had no idea that there was a need for it in this part of Fairfax County where I live.
So that was your why then? Because you recognized a need? What was your turning point? What made you go from, hey, I'm earning a little extra income out of my basement, into I'm now going to have a storefront and 22 employees?
Well, no, it's you don't have a, that's the funny thing in business. You can have visions of things, of what you want it to be, and you can make it reality. I was just enjoying the ride because I had no idea what was going to happen. I mean, Jenna had this poster that she put on our wall because one year we had the goal of, okay, we're going to get 300 new rentals this year, and we were doing this out of our house. And then we got to 300 in like a month. And we were like, oh my stars, what is going on? I wish we still had the poster. We don't know what we did with it. And because it would be so fun, but to look at now. But the turning point was when, and this is actually kind of the funny part of this, because I like to have fun. The turning point is that my basement was full of instruments, other than my studio where I taught, and then or a couch where we had a TV where the kids could watch something if they wanted to. But mainly the basement was overrun with instruments. Then the instruments started getting on the main level, and then the instruments, and then so I got 3 storage units for all the stuff that I was buying, and and it was just because I remember one of my employees who works for us now, Megan. She lived in our neighborhood where we lived, and she was walking by as one of the containers was being delivered to my house, and my garage was floor to ceiling cellos, and and she was like, "Are you okay? Is everything all right?" And I'm just like, "I can't talk right now." It was just craziness. But my wife kind of drew the line when I started lining cellos up along the wall in her bedroom. That was the turning point. It was just like, we got to get this out of here.
So what you're saying is your side hustle started to encroach on your actual life.
Yeah, exactly.
Like every entrepreneur in the world, I think, can understand that.
Well, that, and what I realized, I did get a friendly knock on my door one day at home because after one rental season, we had really grown, and it was starting to become obvious that we needed to get this out of our house. And so we had already started to make plans to do that. And then there was this nice little knock at the door, knock. And it was a Fairfax County small business guy saying, "Hey, congratulations on having a really great business, but you have 60 days to get this out of your house." And so I was like, okay, I got it. So that's when we went retail, and that was scary to me. Because you're signing a 5-year lease and you have to pay so much money per month, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh! I mean, like that's when it became real. But I never ever thought that this was going to happen this way. And the funny story was that, and Jenna probably doesn't think it's too funny, but I was still teaching lessons in this little 10 by 10 room downstairs, and I'm watching my wife going up and down the stairs, getting instruments. Post C-section for our 4th child, and so I was having some serious husband guilt there, but that that's but we knew that it was taking a life of its own, and it was really amazing to watch how things kind of develop from there.
I love that, Jason. What a good inspirational feel-good story for today.
Yeah. And I just want to say this. I think this is a reminder to people to support local, right? Like support your small businesses, and a reminder that there are actual humans behind a name of a business. Like, I think this is what I love that we're doing this with Jason today, is that, his audience and his customers get to know a little bit about him. And it's not just that they walk into a storefront to sign a contract for a thing. It's like there are these people that have worked really, really hard to kind of get it to where it is, and
yes.
I don't know. I just want to say, 1, kudos, and 2, to me, I thought, oh my gosh, Jason, you're also an accidental entrepreneur, right? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Right. Like you get, and I didn't think that you were, I thought you were an intentional entrepreneur, like, Oh
no. You want to talk about knowing nothing? Funny story.
Yeah.
I started the business, and we had moved we were about to move into a storefront, and Jenna's about to have Savannah, our youngest child. She's 12 now, and and so I knew I was supposed to collect sales tax from everyone, but I had no idea where it was supposed to go. So I've been setting aside all of this money for sales tax, and then as my wife is about to give birth, and we're about to go into the operating room, I get this phone call from the state of Virginia saying, Mr. Day, you haven't paid any sales tax for your business, and we see that, and I'm like, I got the money, I'm ready to go. Tell me where it goes. I didn't realize that I was supposed to send it every month, and so it was really kind of silly. And the lady thought I was tooling with her. She thought I was lying to her, like I was trying to get out of paying it. And I just said, look, I said, my wife is about to give birth. Can I call you tomorrow? And she was just like, oh yeah, right, sir. It's funny stories like that. There's a human element to running business where, you realize that there's things that you just absolutely don't know. And being a musician and realizing that you have to become a businessman, that has been the hardest transition that I've had to do in this whole entire thing is starting to think like a business person would instead of thinking like a musician, because it's really hard because I nerd out over old violins and bows and things like that, and I'm always wanting to buy stuff, and then I kind of have to have a reality check. Well, do you have the capital to do that? What are you thinking?
Right.
It's hard. It's really been it's been good growth.
Yeah.
And of course for a long time I was having to, any profits that we were making, we were growing so fast, I was having to reinvest them in the business. And that's why I had to keep working at my school and teaching my violin lessons until everything was self-sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
That's I love it though. Again, like the epitome of side hustle turned profitable full-time business. And like Selena said, also just amazing that it was unintentional, that you really intended to keep it a side hustle for a few extra bucks every month. And now it is what you do. It's your family business.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's the one thing that I love about telling people when they come in is that there's the human element of what this business means to my family. Yeah. And that's why a lot of people come in, and I'm really grateful for that. I mean, we still have to have, the business side of the business, but when you strip it all away, it's a family-owned, operated business, and it really means a lot to our family.
Yeah. No. So yes, thank you, people that support small businesses like Day Violins, because it's important. It is. Yeah. It's important. You're not just supporting the name on a building and the employees in it. Like Jason just said, you strip it all away and there's a family in a home that gets to be sustained. I don't know what the proper word is, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway,
yeah, totally. I'm gonna pull up just a couple more comments here. Here's a little bit confetti from the love from your wife, confetti love. We've got Joanne that popped in. Hi, Joanne. And Paul's here.
There's my husband.
Grandma Annie, who well remembers feeding the baby while Jenna's running up and down the stairs gathering violins. Yeah. So thank goodness for grandmas. And then you've got somebody else loves that you're nerding out over violins and whatnot. And then this one is interesting, the being a musician and changing to the business person, is relatable, because most of us, no, that's not true. But being an entrepreneur, sometimes we're doing what we passionately love, but what you love doing is music, not running a business. And I really liked this comment and that thought process, because I think that's really something to take into consideration when you have this creative, like a musician like yourself, Jason, who's now running a business, and what a swap that is,
Yeah.
Oh, it's a major swap. And sometimes I come home and I do get grumpy about it, because all of the business sides of things that you have to deal with every day and every week, because and that's why you have to find a delicate balance between doing what you love, because now all I do is I'm in charge of all these wonderful instruments behind me. I made sure I showed them to people and they purchased them. And and that's what I do now solely, along with running the day-to-day operations, because I've got other people that are doing things.
Yeah. No. So, okay, speaking of instruments, this is my insert of, I want to let you all know that I was not in band in high school. And so the reason why I got to meet Jason and Jenna is because they hired us to help build their website, which is coming out soon. And when we came in, we've had conversations. I've said every wrong word, and they've been so polite to me. And so I don't know, when I was like spelling cello, I know how to say it, but I was like, how you spell it? I was like, So then I was like, I don't know why people spell this word cello, like S or CELLO, like, because I was spelling it cello, like CHELLO, like how you say it. And so it's become a running joke like that. What will Selena say wrong about this instrument? And I
No, it's an extra special cello because it has an H in it.
I know Selena wrote this note to me because she wrote cello in her way. So, just curious if anybody else out there spells cello with an H, because there is no H in cello, people.
Oh, but you know what was really embarrassing is as a grade school student, you know, playing the violin since I was 4 years old, and I wrote this paper about that I play the violin, and I turned it into my sixth grade teacher, and she was a neighbor of my parents, and she says, "Don't you think you ought to know how to spell violin since you play it?" You know, and Miss, you know, and Mrs. Lott, she was such a great teacher. She was like, it's VIOLIN, you know, and I spelled it all kinds of weird ways. It was great.
Yeah, I personally was like, I'm not saying that word, because even while we talked about it, I still was getting confused. And Anna's like, this one is the name. And then I'm like, which one is the name?
Hilarious.
Okay. So where are we?
That was my one big question, Jason. I do want to throw in a couple more things. I really like what Megan has to say here. In some ways, you sacrifice your art in order to bring the art to others, which I thought, Megan, that's such a good comment.
Yeah.
Right? I think it really is the epitome of what you're doing, Jason, as a musician, offering this opportunity. And I know you and Jenna do a lot of charitable work. I'm just going to throw this little plug out there. Yeah. You know, they're involved with Instruments in the Attic, which is taking instruments to children who don't have the opportunity to. They don't have that opportunity, and it's all over the world. And just other things. I know you guys have donated countless hours and instruments to, I would say, you know, different schools and children that need and want to play. So big, huge kudos for that. And Jason, you are our hero.
Oh yeah, he and I will talk about that later.
So we want to leave our guest today with something new. If you remember, we had Caitlin Eldridge on with, she's a CPA with I think it's
Eldridge. Wait, here, I'm going to just
Eldridge. Yeah, there you go. So Caitlin has provided us a financial tip for this year, and we've got one for each of our guests this season. So we're hoping that this helps with some of our entrepreneurs with something new that you may not have known. So Caitlin Eldridge from Eldridge CPA. You want to go ahead and tell us what the tip is, Selena?
Yes, this is one that I could understand, but I was excited. We actually, like, she has a list, and I was like, anyway. This tip, which I was really excited about, is your business meals for 2021 and 2022 are now 100% deductible, and they used to be 50%. What I will add to this is I actually was just speaking with my other clients, and it was saying, hey, encourage other business owners to go to restaurants, support the local restaurants, you know, if you are able to do that in your area. And you can deduct that for your office meetings, right? Because now the business meals are 100% deductible. But one, it's twofold, because you are also supporting a restaurant that needs it, because at this time they've suffered probably a great deal this last year. But anyway, so I love this tip from Caitlin, and this is why I selected it of all the things. She is highly active on her Instagram and gives a lot of like great tips like this too. So if you can afford a CPA, or you just want to have some CPA tips, she's amazing. She's awesome. Go find her. So Caitlin, thank you for our very first tip jar.
Yes.
Tip jar. I don't know.
Tip jar. You said it right. Tip jar.
And also, we're going to just kudos to John Larson for giving us the title for this portion.
I know, isn't that fun? A financial tip becomes our tip jars.
Yes. So anyway, yes. Thank you, Emma.
Yeah. Yay. We love that. We love supporting small businesses.
So anyway.
So Jason, before we let you go, we want to make sure that you tell people where they can find you. So we're going to pop up where we can find you. Why don't you go ahead and let us know where they can locate you if they have a question about violins. If I should mention this, Jason rents he does virtual lessons, and they rent all over the United States. So you can rent a violin from Day Violins in Virginia, even if you live in like Oregon or California
or Hawaii
or Texas or Hawaii.
Ooh, Hawaii, that would be awesome.
Right? Give them a Hawaii client, people. Give them a Hawaii.
I'll personally deliver that violin.
Yeah. I'll go with you.
Well, we're on the web at dayviolins.com, and and we have our Facebook and Instagram pages. My wife does all of the social media. We also have a Day Violins Luthiers page on Instagram that where we show a lot of the instruments that are being repaired and the pictures of them, in process and their different processes of being fixed. But it's a pleasure to be able to do all of this and to be able to bring music to the lives of children and young adults and professionals alike.
Thank you.
Go there. Go there. Go there.
Go that direction.
Instagram, Facebook, and on the web. And you can actually find his wife too. I know we're not talking about Jenna, but Jenna is actually very active on LinkedIn. So you can go find her on LinkedIn and learn more about Day Violins and what Jason and Jenna do together. They're amazing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And if you have, yes, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Okay. So, hey everyone, next week we're bringing on Becky Hoy of Brave Crates and the Subbox Systems. We're very excited. She does all things subscription boxes. So if that's something you're interested in, join. And well, even if you're not interested in it, it's always good to know what's going on. So join us, tune in next Monday, 10 o'clock Central Time. And then, you can, wait, that's not the right one. Sorry. I've got all these things, all these banner things. So remember, AnnaandSelena.com is coming soon.
Oh, wow.
Jason's new website, I should say, is coming soon. Give us another couple of weeks. It's almost done. We're so excited.
So excited.
But you can find Anna and Selena on Facebook, YouTube, your favorite podcast platform. We'd love it if you would subscribe. And you can visit us at our website and sign up for email list if you're interested in doing something like that.
Yep.
So Jason, thank you so much for
thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah. Yes. You're amazing, Jason. Thank you so much for your expertise, your insight, your knowledge. And again, we were talking to Jason earlier saying it's not about the specific job they have or career or business. It's just about the relevant business owner things that we all go through. And Jason already shared so much that the lady that does a card making successful business can relate to some of Jason's pain points that he has in business because we all go through it. So thank you, Jason, for coming on and being fun. He's super fun. So fun that actually I was so bummed that he couldn't find his Batman mask and be like Jordan Blair, who brought on the Mandalorian mask. So we're hoping maybe there will be a.
Well, I did look for it. I tried.
Yeah. So
we have a photo, so maybe I'll use that along with my whole "Don't be an exploding soda" post later, and I'll post that Batman mask.
Oh my gosh, I need a quote. Get that, Anne and Megan and Jenna, exploding soda. Don't be an exploding soda.
That's right. That's right.
All right, guys.
Everybody, thank you so much for joining us.
For having me.
Yeah. Right. Bye, guys. Bye.